Dave Scott coming up with the UFO. You know, this is, I think, my whole life, one of the great subjects to talk about. Dave, it's a pleasure always to be with you. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing, buddy? It's been a while.
It has been a while, and I've been looking forward to this because I'm all excited. I have UFO memories. Not because stuff didn't happen, but I was a little kid listening on the street corner at the candy store to people give these really gripping stories about what they saw. And one of my friends believes that a flying saucer tracked his car until he got home. So I so look forward to this segment with you.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't be remiss to say I have heard that story before of people who have had their vehicles followed by UFOs. In fact, 30-some years ago, in my little town here, there was a major alien abduction where this UFO followed this car full of kids heading to Vancouver for about 2 hours before pulling them out off the highway, and the aliens coming out and abducting one of the people in the car for 3 hours. So it's not surprising when you say that.
There you go. Now, this is fascinating. Right there, the abduction is a huge overt act while they keep themselves so off the radar, bad pun, but so difficult to track. To me, that's bookending, right? Two extremes. Either you can't find me or I snatch somebody and you still can't find. What are we thinking about the abductor, the UFO alien? What are we thinking in terms of human, malice and do good, or is it just a whole different matrix of how they think?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of different abductions that seem to happen to people. I mean, you have the people who get taken and they seem to get downloaded with all sorts of memories and futuristic type of scenarios that are going to happen. There are people who get abducted to be healed. There are other people who get abducted and have either if you're female, your reproductive eggs taken, or if you're male, your sperm taken. Right. In regards to a hybridization program, there are people who get taken and never to be seen again. Maybe it's because they just didn't want to be here anymore, or they were taken as some sort of alien food. And then the weird one of it all is what we call MILABs, military abductions. This is where people claim that the United States military has this weird program where they actually will take people, scare them into believing that they have been taken by aliens, and literally scare the daylights out of them until they stop going into digging into the UFO and alien story. I know a number of people who claim to be a part of this MILAB investigation, and I tell you, that one scares me more.
Come on. It reminds me of that movie with Burt Lancaster. Remember, he was going to take over the country, and they kidnapped Edmund O'Brien, and they held him at that nuclear base that was secret. Right, that the government would do these kind of things. But here's a question that's always troubled me. Is the military way ahead of meeting up with these forces and facing off with them? Or, what would our military be doing with a conduit to aliens and having these abductions? What would the military's angle be there?
Well, I think there's a couple things. There's a couple points of what you just said. Recently, Dr. Eric Davis came out and said the United States government is actually in contact with 4 different types of species of aliens, one being reptilian. These things look very alligator-like, lizard-like, if you remember the television show V.
Yeah.
Another one is the alien grays, where that's with the giant gray head, the big black bulbous eyes, and they are more of a scientific side. They stand between 3.5, 4 feet tall, up to about 6 feet tall. They are very rubbery, which people claim that if they're very rubbery and meek, but they have powers to shut you down just by touch. There is the humanoids, which are, imagine a bunch of beautiful Swedish people, how they all seem to have blonde hair and blue eyes.
My favorite on Law and Order is the Swedish assistant to the prosecutor. Absolutely, yeah. I'm with you.
Absolutely, and they are a humanoid type species that is allegedly there to bring peace, love, and light to what humanity is. And then the fourth being would be what we call the insectoids. Now, these are a bunch of different species that have like human-like bodies.
Right.
However, their heads and their arms. One is like the ant people. So imagine an ant with a human with an ant head.
Ant head
arms.
on a human being. Yeah, I've dated a couple of girls. It's.
Yeah. The other one would be a mantid beak. So if you took a praying mantis and put a version of that head on a human body,
right?
That's kind of what we're looking at. And apparently, according to Dr. Eric Davis, who is a longtime government scientist, that these are the species that are involved, that he's actually testified in that recently in front of members of Congress.
Wow, the insectoids. The insectoids. I'm just digesting that.
It's scary.
Let me ask, would they already be doing something like I'm about to ask? Because, all right, so I'm only child, no siblings, unmarried. I could volunteer. Do you think they would have a way to put me with aliens on the military side, volunteer for my country, or we're not there? Or is it possible there are people volunteering to go face to face with the aliens?
I am sure there are already military members whose job is that secret to do something like that. But if I were you, I would never volunteer to do that because
bad.
The minute the aliens find out you want a piece of them, that's where it's going to get nasty. Okay?
Well, what if I went in and what if I went in liking them? Say, look, I would like to find a way to get along with you. Don't eat me yet. Don't eat me for an hour. Talk to me a little bit and see if we can. You know what I mean? Like, or is it going to be automatic adversaries because species are just going to go at each other, right?
Well, you know what? We kind of put it in the realm of this. Be careful what you wish for.
Right.
So, for instance, if you're somebody out there who says, look, I want to see if this alien crap is real, and I'm just going to put it out there, and guys, come take me.
Yeah.
Do you remember the days of the old Cabbage Patch Kid at Kmart when they had a blue light special during the day, and the people would go nuts like Black Friday and start beating the tar out of everybody?
Yeah.
You don't want that. You don't want that. What you want is you want to be able to put it out there that you want the good guys to come and check you out.
I would.
Okay?
I would. I'd be patient with them. I would try to be patient with them and not aggress and see if they were. Well, you know what? Why do I envy you? Why is it at this moment I would like to swap out what I do every day from what you do? How interesting. Does it take you places to keep up on all this? Do you have to travel, or are you able to do reporting from far? How do you spend your investigative efforts?
Well, normally it's all over the phone and online. My phone is constantly blowing up, talking to people sending me videos, people saying, hey, here's a rabbit hole you may want to go down. And it's interesting. But the problem is I have a daytime job, too. And so, I'm a workopaholic.
No good. We got to call. We got to call somebody and get you a grant. We got to get you a $5 million grant to. Oh yeah, we can't be taking you away from the UFO work. Well, you're a dedicated guy. You know what else you have? You have a magnificent, curious mind. The way you delineate and explain, I could talk to you for hours. We're running short on time, so I'll give you the last word for this visit, but I can't thank you enough for spending time with us.
Well, anytime you want to talk aliens and alien contact, you know how to get a hold of me. And I love speaking about this subject because I just wish we would see people actually look and instead of saying, that crap ain't real because you don't want to believe it, imagine the possibility that it is.
Without a
That's all
doubt.
I ask.
Without a doubt. And you know something? Everything we learned in science about micro everything. The closer you look, the more is there. Dave Scott, fantastic. Love hanging out with you, man. Thank you very much. Oh, there you go. Ed Tyll. Filling in on Sterling every damn night in tonight, this Mother's Day night for Walter.
Your heart. Walmart. Sterling Shop.